Hello. Okay, we are officially live. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us. All right, so we're answering the big question. What the heck is going on with Master? That's what we've been asked on our YouTube channel for like 3 years, and we're finally getting to the juice of it. And I brought the perfect people to answer this question, so I'll let them introduce themselves. And we're sharing mics, so we apologize.
Well, I'm Jamaal Bradley, creator, writer, master.
And I'm Jalil Sadool. I'm a producer, and that's it.
He does a lot more than that. Hey, I'm Adam Meyer. I'm an executive producer and also art directing.
Awesome. And I'm Kayla O'Brien, and I'm the head of marketing here at Steamroller Animation. So before we get to the juice, we're going to let people come in and start to ask their questions. So ask your questions live. We're going to take some questions live. We have some that we got from comments from, like I said, the last couple years, because everyone's got things to ask about Master. So let us know your comments and your questions. But before we get into that, I want to just set us up. So how did we get to where we are today? So you're the creator, and then how did you bring in these guys into it?
Well, it was kind of, I guess, an odd way of happening.
It was.
So,
It was in the evening. I would be getting random messages from Jamaal.
no, that's not how it went.
Sorry.
So, yeah, when I was working at a different studio years and years ago, I started writing this story about martial arts because I love martial arts. It was based on some other inspirations I've had when I was younger. Watching Run Run Shaw films, Bruce Lee, all the good stuff, Five Deadly Venoms. But then there was like some tragedy happened in my family, so I kind of stopped writing Master and I started writing some other ideas, which if you saw the short film, I wrote Substance and I made Substance. So after I finished Substance, I started working on Master again. At the time, it wasn't named that. And I was doing boards and
What was the original name? Did we have a name?
I think I had an acronym. So it was like,
okay.
I don't remember what it was. Just martial arts. I think it was just martial arts film. I didn't have a name picked out at that time. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. And from there, I started doing boards. Jalil was like, what are you working on next, man? Substance was awesome, man. Good job. Congratulations. What are you working on?
It was the same time we were doing Spice Frontier, and then you were sending me what you were doing, and I was like, what are you doing, Jamaal? How's this one person doing so much stuff? That's so cool.
Yeah, it was just my free time, man. I know a lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people spend time watching movies, playing video games. I spend my free time writing, doing sketches, hanging with my family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I started boarding out, and my friend at, another studio, he was helping me storyboard that teaser, which you guys now know of Master, that happened 3 years ago. Like, where is this thing at? And Jalil saw it, and he read the treatment. He's like, dude, we want to help you make this thing. I'm like, really? So I can't afford you, man. I got to do this in my free time, and I can't pay you. So
I was like, don't worry, I've got a studio. We can totally do that.
So yeah, that's the short of it, of a longer story. But that's how it came about. He just was curious. Jalil congratulated me for making Substance, and asked me what I was working on now.
Yeah, on our side, it was really exciting because, Jamaal is a similar similar mind as we are as creators, and we also Steamroller happened because we were doing things because we wanted to do something creative, and we decided let's invest our own money and make it. So when I saw Jamaal do that and he showed it to me, I was like, oh my God, here's another person just like us, and why don't we just partner up? So then I went and showed it to to the other owners, and it wasn't very difficult. When I showed it to Adam.
Jamal has that entrepreneurial spirit that we have here, where we'll do something and we might talk to an investor or someone, and then you start to see the strings attached, and very quickly we're like, we're going to do it ourselves. And
Yeah.
I saw that with Jamal as well, and so we were kind of kindred spirits in that way.
It's very much unapologetic. You're just gonna make it because you love it. You're just gonna make it because you want to be creative. And we saw a similar thing in Jamaal, and we decided, hey, let's just partner up with Master. We'll just do it. And I think it took us like 4 months. We bootstrapped the little teaser that we released about 4 years ago, and but everybody was so excited to do it, and we just put it together. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool seeing everything, seeing the reaction, and again, for everybody that liked it and gave a shout out to us. I know it was like, where's this thing at? Like, we so.
We're gonna answer that soon.
Yeah, you guys were behind it, and it was pretty cool to see. But Yeah, we'll jump to that.
Yeah, so that's the question we get asked the most on all of our social media channels, to be honest, is like, is Master canceled? And we've sort of said, no, it's in the works. No, we're working on it, but we have not given everyone a direct answer, and we haven't showed anything in quite a while, anything new, and that's all about to change. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so the big question, I'll let whoever wants to jump in. Is Master canceled?
Jalil?
Adam?
No. Jalil, elaborate.
No. Is our mic too low? Are we getting somebody say?
Get close to it.
Get close to it. Is it? We have to get here. Okay.
Yep.
No. It's not. It's never been cancelled. We never even took a break from it. I think again, as a small independent studio, we can't go at the speed of the bigger houses. Because we are self-funded. But for us, Master is our first feature film, and that's the one we want to be focusing on. But while we were doing Master, while we were working on the script, working on a lot of stuff that we're going to show you guys here very soon, we were also building, our pipeline, while we were making a 30-minute episode of a. Do you want to show some? We're going to show you guys some stuff that we've been working on. As we're working with, on Master in the background, we were finishing a 30-minute pilot episode of our future TV show called Spice Frontier, and future TV show. Do you say TV show now? I think it's series, animated series, and that's going to be, the pilot will be coming out in May. We're going to be releasing it in May, but as you can see right now, I think Adam is sharing his screen. And as we're building this pipeline, we had, of course, Master, on our minds as we were working, on the concept art and building the universe, of Liv and all the other characters. And anything you want to add, Jamaal, to that?
Yeah, it's a process, right? Because I'm writing, and again, shout out to my wife for, because it takes, writing story, and it takes time. And I think you get the idea of like, oh, you see this thing that's coming out, and people say, oh, it took 4 years to make this. Like, no. And I always use Tangled as an example. Tangled was like 10 years because it stopped, rebooted. And that stuff just takes time. And being that Steamroller is a smaller studio, it's pretty awesome to see that they can do the kind of work they're doing and sustain themselves in this industry that's pretty crazy right now. So yep.
And we're working on the audio, by the way. So the answer is no, it's not canceled. Let us know if it's just our mics, so if it's everyone's mic, or just Adam and Jalil, because we'll get them closer to the mic.
Is it just us?
Let us know.
How about now? Is that good?
Just put your mouth on the mic, maybe.
Yeah, like basically like you're talking, you're kissing the mic, essentially.
I have to be like this?
There you go. Pretend you're doing like a audiobook recording.
So I'll be right here.
Okay. All right, let us know if that's better. Okay, so why, I don't know if you just answered this, but why did you decide to change the look, and how dramatic is it? Are we going to, because it's pretty different than what people saw 3 years ago.
You want to, well, I was going to say, Jalil, you want to touch on it? But I think when the first teaser came out, there was some comments that, oh, it's kind of Spider-Verse-ish, and then you would see other things that came out after Spider-Verse that still had that kind of look. And I think it was just, I think somebody said this directed, was that you, Adam? Saying it was directed art? It's directed CG. The art is really crafted to look like something that you would hand draw, or just put those small little bits of detail into the work. And I think one of the things we wanted to change was branding the own look for Steamroller.
Our own, yeah. And we definitely want to, when Spider-Verse came out, we had already been working on a very similar look, I'd say, because our sensibilities are, 2D. All of us, grew in the 2D days of the 80s and 90s. Of course, 2D goes way far, way further back. But, it was before CG for us. And Prince of Egypt, for example, or Sinbad were great inspirations for us to get to that look of Spice Frontier. And so we were developing already that look. And of course, Spider-Verse came out, and it was amazing to see that, because it validated, hey, there is an audience for this throwback, towards the 2D days. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there are many similarities, but you can tell there are big differences, as well. And I think Arcane is another big project that further that hey, there's an audience for that type of a look, and so it's super exciting for us that that look is becoming more popular. And but there are lots of differences between what we are doing with Spice and Master compared to what some of the bigger projects look like.
Yeah, we're going to share some of the art too. Like you guys looking at some of the earlier concepts. There was so much art being done. Not earlier. This is some of the newer content based from the idea. Like, okay, we have to really find something that's going to sing and be us. And this is Alex, right? This is Alex.
This is Alex work. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, just pushing it. And at the same time, this is inspiration, but we're still trying to find how that's going to work within the CG space, right?
Yeah. And I think during that time, it was me, Jamal, and Christopher Porter working on the script. I think we've made incredible progress on the story. There's still some work to do, but as we're developing the world, the art department, under Adam, they've been working on a lot of world building concepts, really, if you want to call it, because not all of these scenes are still in the story. But we get to learn the characters and the world, of Liv, and no, it's been super exciting.
Yeah, I'll just add. I think what you're seeing here on screen is, like Jalil said, this was all us trying to figure out kind of the mood and the tone of it. But you'll notice even the character of Liv here is still pretty similar to what you saw in the kind of proof of concept trailer. So I think we'll talk a little bit about how that character developed. But yeah, all this stuff here is just mood boards that we were just trying to use as a kind of a point of reference to inspire ourselves and figure out, all right, what's the tone going to be? Not really focusing so much yet on the characters themselves, which is a whole nother, huge task we had on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just awesome to see this. I mean, and I'm humbled, right? Because something I've written, because there's artists that are just working on this, and to see it come to life in this way, just sitting in your room. And I'm the traditional. I like writing on notepad, pen and paper. I'm old school. Pencil. Sometimes I'll write sideways on the notepad. I'm sketching on the notepad. And then I got to transcribe it into type. But it's cool to see something you write down and come to life, and somebody to believe in your ideas. It's humbling. So I know we could probably end with that, but the takeaway is like, no, you gotta, as an artist, there's things in your head you just got to get out, and sometimes you got to take that extra time to get it out, right? You just got to find it.
And I can share another really cool little story there, because when Jamal started writing it, we went through maybe a 5-month stint where we were writing and we were missing a lot of the heart, from the story. And so Jamal, myself, and Chris, we decided, hey, we're just going to sit down and listen to Jamal tell us his story, because there's so much heart, that and so much that Jamal has gone through that we were not, putting in the story. So we went through it like a whole month of just, and if you guys know Jamal, is a very, private person. He told me, I don't know if I want to share my life. I was like, Jamal, we have to be talking about that stuff. And he did. And, we went through a journey together of just listening to Jamal telling us, and his soothing voice. It was amazing. I loved it. And
man, they saw a part of my life watching. If you watch Substance, that's a big chunk that really affected my family's life. So you guys saw, based on true events, Substance is that. So
and what's really cool about Master is also three or four of these characters are 3 or 4 parts of Jamal. There's the what Jamal's wanted to do, but also there's Jamal's regret and Jamal's wishes, what he could have been. And it's amazing because each of these characters actually embody a part of who Jamal is, and we couldn't have known that if we had not really dived into his life.
I think and I believe it's relatable. I think a lot of people have these things that are in your life and wish you could have done, It's like, but you got to go with your life, right? Because if you think, it's the classic tale of like, if I could go back into time and change that, no, you break the, Star Trek, the space-time continuum.
Space-time continuum.
You break the space-time continuum if you do that. It's like everything
Back
just.
to the Future
I
too.
didn't know
Yeah.
you were a nerd, Jamal.
Yeah, so you got to deal with life as it comes at you anyway. See a bunch of some questions in there, but
I was gonna
Kayla.
say, yeah, let's bring up some of these questions that people are asking live. And I think this kind of is a good segue. This is from YouTube Bob. Thank you for joining us, YouTube Bob. They're asking, I'm saying it. What traumatized her the most? I don't know if we're going to give away all the secrets, but maybe just a little something for the audience.
There was a big event that we're talking about Olivia, right?
Yeah.
But do we want to say it? No.
If you guys know it, that's the main character's name. I'm not. If we revealed that her name is Olivia,
I don't think we have
for sure.
Liv.
and we call her Liv, it's like her nickname. But yeah, I don't think we can give you that, Bob.
Not
I don't
yet.
think we can give you that.
But there's definitely a big event.
That's pretty. Yeah, because that's a story driving element.
It is. It's a big part of her and why she's where she's at the moment in our story, and it defines her. It leads her forward, and but it's a very big event that took place in her life that changed everything for her and led her to where she is today. We just don't want to say it yet, but little by little, you guys are gonna get to know more.
Perfect.
Don't say it. Our CEO right now, he's saying, don't say it. No, I love it.
We know better than that, Aaron. Jesse J's question is, how did you guys meet and how did the collaboration of Masters start? So we talked about this a little bit, but maybe you can go into more details and kind of where we're at now with it all.
Well, I'll take that one real quick. So in my first day at DreamWorks, about what? 13 years ago. And I remember where I was sitting on my first day. The first person who came to welcome me at the studio was Jamaal Bradley. And, he came and said hi to me. And instantly I just felt, okay, there are friendly faces here. And that was it. That's really how we met. And I think you were working on Crudes maybe at the time?
I think I was on Cruise, but I think what's funny is because I had a few maquettes, and I think I came to speak to Jalil because he had that Incredible Hulk back there on his desk.
Right.
And I was like, what? I was like, hey, what's up, man? It's like that kindred spirit of like, you an extra geek too? Okay.
Yeah, you had all these cool Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Especially from Tangle. That was cool stuff. That's how we met. And then we stayed in touch, again. When you're a creator and you are independent, and I think you just bond. I think we share that. You share that struggle of trying to get your story seen and your story told. Hollywood is brutal, and very few stories get seen by the world. And when you want the same thing, you bond and you help each other. And I think Jamaal and I were in this, on the same path. And then when I brought Jamaal to Steamroller, that's when Jamaal and Adam met, and now they're best friends. Jamaal came for me, stayed for Adam.
All right, I got another question from our watchers, and I think we can show some more master stuff too. This will be perfect timing. Something Subliminal asks, what are some of the sources of inspiration that you all use to develop the new look?
Well, actually, probably a good time to show some of the new stuff because.
So
go ahead.
Well, let's show where the old. So, are you already showing the old Liv the whole time?
This is kind of where we started developing the idea.
Changing the look.
Yeah, so this is kind of us in the early days. Once we recognized that we wanted to try some new things out for the character of Liv and kind of forge our own path as a studio and what our art style was. This is the beginnings of that and trying to figure out what works, what didn't. We'd find sometimes really, really good art, but I think, Jalil would sometimes or Jamaal would call out, it's great, but I've seen it before. And, it's so difficult with so many amazing studios out there and artists producing great work. How do you find your own identity? And it's not unlike how an artist would do it, right? You're inspired. I think, Jalil, you were saying some of the things that have inspired us in the past as kids of the 80s and, kind of classic DreamWorks and, old Disney features and the contrast between 2D and like really detailed backgrounds. Yeah. And so we were, just trying to figure out, all right, how do we make this our own? And so what you're seeing here is just, trying different shapes out, pushing the eyes further and closer and bigger and smaller, and just every different way we could, throw something at the wall and see what worked and see what was appealing. So yeah, this is just kind of the early exploration, and then do we want to get into the new one yet? Or
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just so where we landed.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's that number 74 there that we actually started really liking. And go back to that expression. Yeah, this is so cool. And this is done by, is that Sylvia?
Can anyone see that yet?
Yeah, we have such an amazing team. So this is a combination probably of Sylvia, who's done a lot of the work here,
and
T2, and Ben, who leads the story team, is helping. It's really all hands on deck type of mentality. Like, hey, what can you do? How can you help out? How can you contribute? And so that's the cool thing about developing a look as a studio, is that we can pull from so many different artists and use the parts we like and their own unique voices to kind of put it all together and go, all right, now this is the steamroller look. And it's not done. It's an ongoing process. I think it'll take many years, and hopefully we'll never quite have it done. But
wait, no, we will have it done. What are you talking about?
Master will have done. The look will always continue to evolve. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is where we landed, with this Olivia design. It feels a bit more unique for us, yet it still has that appeal that we were looking for, that edge, that we were looking for. And it's very different from what we did, in the teaser. We love that, the chunkiness of her body. Keep in mind, she's a master, herself, a martial arts master. So she would be buff, and so we really love that the direction that we were going with her. Tons of these designs are what we're going to be. Well, did we talk a little bit about what we're doing right now? No, we haven't.
No.
About what?
We haven't. About the little teaser we're gonna show. No,
not yet. But before we get there, I did, because you said something.
To talk about that?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Aaron, what do you think?
Aaron's dying over there.
More to show later.
Yeah.
I think it's just more to show later.
More to show, yeah.
Yeah, and now that we're getting, we're moving on from Spice Frontier in the next, few months or so, we will be sharing more publicly.
We'll be sharing
updates
more publicly.
Now we're contractually obligated to, because we've said it on a live stream.
Wait, no. We will share as much as we can share.
Yes. But we are planning to talk way more about Master in the coming months. Okay, speaking of martial arts, because that's obviously a huge part of this film, we have a question from Matthew. Let me pull it up. This is from Matthew Herrera. Matthew asks, martial arts are a form of self-expression and learning. Is this reflected in Master's combat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to take it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's so much heart going into this, where, the martial arts in the film is not just for our love for martial arts, but it's also the characters' love for martial arts and what it means to them, what it means to, again, we're not sharing too much of the story, but what also it means to, wow, it's not close enough. What does it mean to Olivia's parents as well, because Olivia's mother is also a martial arts, a master herself. So it goes through them, but the language, of martial arts comes through, because that's how Olivia grows as a character in the film. You want to jump in?
Yeah, I think that in this setting, martial arts was used to protect a child from certain things in the world, which then for her evolved into even more. But I was sitting there, that's why I was pondering the best way to say it without telling you any story.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best way. The self-expression for her came through in stages.
Yeah, because that event that happened, I'm trying to maneuver around the story here, but she wants to share martial arts, so she ended up teaching to younger kids, how to do it properly, because of the event that happened in her life. So yeah, hopefully we answered the question there. But let me jump into what we're actually doing right now, because they're going to start seeing some artwork that is very specific to a little look of picture that we're doing right now. As you guys know, we did the little teaser about 3 years ago, and we were very proud of it, very happy. But obviously, the look was more of a traditional 3D look with some 2D elements to it. And but after finishing Spice Frontier, which is our pilot episode here that we just wrapped up of it, completely different, IP. Now we've got our pipeline ready to tackle Master. And but first we are doing another look of picture just to really nail the look and the feel we're going for. Hence why we are redesigning Olivia and really coming up with a look that is more steamroller-ish, more steamroller. So that's what you're seeing right now, and some of that art is from that look of picture that hopefully will be coming out in the summer. Oh, I just said the time. Don't. No, Aaron's dying over there. I
just gotta zip it.
Yeah. It's gonna come out this year, but we're very excited about it. We've done a lot of work, as you can see, some of that stuff right now. A fight between Olivia and this other character, and we're very excited to be sharing that with you guys soon. And the team is currently working on it, so that's a huge update. They'll be seeing something soon.
I didn't know he was gonna say that update, but okay.
Yeah, was I not supposed to?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's your studio.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, Natalie. Thanks for saying you love the look. It's pretty cool. It's a big change in the hairstyle. See, I'm jumping over Kayla a bit. I'm looking at the comments. I'm like, all right, it's trying to figure out ways to make her hair unique, but at the same time, like, oh, if she has dreads, do we have the technical capability of like, oh, we can put the dreads up, take them down? I'm sure there'll be some magical CG sheets happening, but
yeah. Well, I just need to clarify because I know I just said this year, but it's not for the feature film. That's not coming out this year. And and again, I think we need to set the expectation as well, because we don't want to do what we did when we released the little teaser about 3 years ago. And again, none of that was done with any agenda or any plan. It's really us as an independent studio. We can only go as fast as we can. And so the feature film is still a little while away. We're doing it. We are not waiting on anybody. But as a small studio, it will take us longer than a usual production. Usually will take. But we're gonna do our best to be sharing more information with you guys as we go. We have a lot of plans for this year to be diving into the world of Olivia and the world of Master and sharing a lot of what we're doing. So expect a lot of more updates. As we move forward, but the film will take its time because we want to do it right, and but we're doing it. We're not waiting on anybody. Like I said, we are independent, but we are unapologetic. We want to be making this film. So, but what is coming out this year, hopefully, is that look of picture. Is a small little bit that we're going to be releasing this year and get kind of show what the look will, the actual film will look like. I've talked enough. Anybody else jump in?
Some MJH TV. Yeah, Peter Ramsey's still involved. That's our guy.
Yes, Peter is definitely involved.
Let's go to Ikana. Sorry. This is from Ikana asked, is it set in a real city or a fictional one like in Big Hero 6?
It's fictional based on a couple cities. So, yeah.
Let's jump to a question that a lot of people from our comments have asked. And I know it's a little controversial, but I think it's important that we highlight on it. A lot of people were asking, and maybe you have a good answer, is Master going to be woke? Whatever that means.
Woke. I mean, it's it's an awkward word and an awkward however you want to define it, and I think for us, we don't care. For us, the story has an we want to tell a story that has integrity. If a character, there's no agenda, we have no agenda going into this. If a character has to be in the story, the character will be in the story. And that's really where we're at. If you want to define it as woke, that's going to be up to you to put a name or a label to it. But for us, we're not doing anything with an agenda. We're just telling a great story with great characters that deserve to be in the film.
I don't even know if people know. I don't even know what is woke. What is that? I don't.
Don't know.
I mean, I'm trying to throw
How
it
do
in.
you
Throw it in the
define
comment.
it?
Please define what that is, because to me, it's been thrown around. I'm just like,
It's been, yeah.
I don't know. It's please put in the comments what you think woke is.
Yeah,
So we can
it's
give
a-
you a more direct
yeah.
answer, because
It's our sensibilities. And I think as long as we have integrity as creators and we're telling a story that we want to tell because we love these type of characters, if it is woke, then that's our sensibilities. But we're not doing anything with an agenda. We're not forcing any character in the story that doesn't have to be there because we have an agenda to be, quote unquote, woke.
Well, part of it, I think there's two parts that I came across in the comments. And one of them was that there seems to be a trope that black superheroes have electric powers. So there is sort of an update with this. But what were your thoughts on that?
That's funny because I actually didn't know that.
yeah, there's no. It's a difference. What was happening in the teaser?
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't really her powers. It may have not been visually presented correctly, because when she was hitting, there was a surge happening
It
in
was
the warehouse.
surge in the warehouse.
So we kind of projected it on her as she was punching,
Yeah.
but it wasn't so much like, oh, she's electrical power.
No.
So
Yeah, the world of Master doesn't have powers the way you're thinking X-Men or Marvel films. Although we love these movies, it's characters don't have special powers like, okay, this is a fire character or a lightning character. The reason in the teaser it was more the electricity around in the building that she was harnessing, but she doesn't have electricity, power of electricity. But the world of Master is supernatural, is not supernatural, but it's an extension of reality, more in line with like a Street Fighter. Nobody really asks a question of does Ryu have fire power, or nobody really asks, but everybody has some type of supernatural abilities that we want the world of Master to be like that, where they have an extension to reality, and what is it, an exaggeration of reality. And it just so happened that it was electricity in the teaser, but really that wasn't our focus. Hopefully that answers that question.
yeah,
Sorry, we're getting a laptop plug going on, so we're not doing anything crazy under here. In the meantime, this question is for Jalil, I think. With independent animation, oh my gosh, that's so tiny. Okay, let me get my squinting going. With independent animation studios being less and less common, bravo! How does the financing of original IP work? Does client work pay for the original IP? How do you decide when to take on original IPs? And this is from MG. Thank you for your question, MG.
What a great question. And well, the story, I think, of Steamroller is really the definition of that battle and struggle. And I think we are still learning and still struggling, and still, well, not struggling in a negative way, but still solving problems every day as we go. And but it's really being cautious as independent entrepreneurs, and we have to be very cautious. We have to be very calculated in the risks that we take. And when we started Steamroller, it really started because we had an idea to create an IP. Steamroller happened because of that IP, but very quickly while as we were making the IP, the video game that we made called Curse of the Deadwood, we realized we had to build a foundation. We realized we had to build a studio to continue to bring money in, to bring revenue in, to continue to do IP. So we switched our focus a little bit in building our company, building our clients and bringing in, work. So that's really how Steamroller started, and we continue to do that. So when we decided to do Spice Frontier, I think it was about 5 years into Steamroller, we were very careful. That's when we realized, well, how much time, effort, money can we put in telling a short that will not hurt us if anything bad happens? One part of our philosophy is what happens when our IP fails. And that was very important for us because we didn't want to believe in the what happens if we fail or what happens when we succeed. It was always what happens when we fail, because we knew the reality of how the industry is. It's brutal, it's ruthless. So if we have that mindset, we're always going to be prepared. So we build a company going, okay, we will do this, but when it doesn't work, are we laying off people? Are people losing their jobs? Or that was very, very important for us. And when Deadwood came out, Curse of Deadwood came out, it wasn't a resounding success. It did okay, and
It's on Steam right now. If you guys want to go, I don't know if it's still on sale. It was super cheap the other day. It was like a couple bucks.
I think it is. So yeah, go check it out. Deadwood is on Curse of the Deadwood is on Steam. So when luckily the company was not hurt by it, and that's because we were very cautious and very calculated, and the team moved on to a different project. So we always have to be very careful, and money is difficult to earn and difficult to get, and you just have to do it with integrity. But then again, we have an amazing service side to our company, and run by our wonderful CEO Aaron, and that side of our company is doing extremely well. We're bringing a lot of our incredible clients and big projects, and that we put a lot of care in. We treat every single one of our partners and clients as if they are our friends and with us, and we value, our whole team value the work that we do and the quality that we produce.
So yeah, nice. So I see some old colleagues chimed in. So what's up to Frank? See Irene responded to. So I guess it's awareness and advocacy for being woke. So the story is based around what I knew and a love for, martial arts. I love watching martial arts films, but I love good storytelling. My favorite movie is, well, now it's probably There Will Be Blood, but I love dramatic films, and I love action that's well done. So that's kind of where that came from. So as far as an agenda, like Jalil was saying, there's no agenda. It's like, oh, we need to advocate for this group. So in the case of this, I need to advocate for Black people. That's not the case. So Adam, you bring up that image. Mm-hmm. So I didn't grow up that way, and my family didn't raise me that way. If you can see this image, that's how I grew up. Black, white. You can't see Thomas is in that, and that's me. I don't know how old I'm probably 6, 5.
What are you eating?
Which one are you? Yeah.
I think we did some orange eating contests.
You sure you weren't from Florida? That sounds like a Floridian thing.
But yeah, I didn't grow up that way. I didn't grow up around having some separate world. Everybody is, you can see at this table, right? That's the universe that Master is. That's the universe I want to be in. Even though there is some themes in there that are hard hitting, but it's not pounding you in the head to make a statement. That's just not, how can you make a story around, unless it's a documentary, right? Yeah. Make a documentary. I want to get this point across, and we're going to talk about these issues. No, we're going to talk about a good story about this girl's life, and she can do some crazy martial arts. That's where it's
I think that's something that I know, Jalil, you've talked about a lot. From the very beginning, our kind of what we love to do is just entertain. That's top priority for us, is just entertain, tell good stories, and all that other stuff is not having that agenda is very important to us.
So
yeah.
So it is woke then. That's the answer. I'm just kidding. Just joking.
Sure. However you want to define it.
Short answer is.
Is this panel woke?
Let's get that definition up there again. Just kidding.
No, we're done with that one.
Yeah.
We're done with that one.
I think we answered that one. Okay, I have a good question from, I'll go back. I'll get to all these questions, I promise, because there's some about comics and some other ideas. But let's see, from Oliver. Oliver asks, did AI affect your workflow, creative process in any sort? Also, do you see the future in this field with the rise of AI? It's kind of a tough one, but...
What a tough question. Yeah, it's a question that I don't think anybody can really answer. I think we all see the power of AI. We all see the speed and the progress of AI has been tremendous. Every day you see an incredible leap. So are we going to be affected by it? I think yes. I think it'll be naive to say no. Has it affected the way we think and make our films? Not yet, but we've got, like I said, we're very cautious as entrepreneurs, and so we are keeping an eye on where AI is going, and we're not just keeping an eye, we are actively looking into how can it improve our process in making films. but the human touch of making films is not going to go anywhere, and I think we need it in our movies, and we are right now having moved into using Unreal as well has been a huge improvement in our pipeline and making things go much faster than we used to do it the traditional way. So I don't know if I answered that question, but
But AI, I think the only way for it to not be cringy is it has to be self-contained within each studio's own art. Like you can't use it to, I'm going to pull from Miyazaki's work and put it into mine and AI is going to give me that. I think that's just, you're stepping over years and years of people crafting their work and becoming masters and putting it into yours. AI's going to grab that from me and put it here. It's like, no, you got to build it yourself. And I don't know how that works where every studio has their own AI model and they work within the information that's there. I mean, you would have to set up a whole another infrastructure to get that to.
Yeah, I mean, it's still for us to learn, and we are keeping close. We're staying close, to AI, and so we understand. I'm saying AI like it's one thing. We're staying very close to AI, guys. He's next door.
So I like that question. What's that one?
Which one?
Nicholas.
Okay, let's see. You can read it, and I'll find it on the screen. Which one is it?
So it's how are you getting reference for the martial arts animation? Some of those moves are extremely complex. So I'm curious how the animators are figuring out some of the body mechanics of the moves. Jamal.
Ayane.
Oh, you're going to say it.
Don't say it? Oh. So we have
Well, Jamal discovered her.
Social media found a martial artist stunt
Badass.
action
Can I say that?
Japanese young lady that once I sent her a message like, hey, would you? She was all for it. So that's one of the things, one of our secrets that we're using.
Not anymore.
Well, you got to go search her out, but she's awesome.
Yeah, and I think what was incredible about her was she was the way she was moving didn't feel staged. Although it was, it was very planned, but yet she moved almost. It was visceral. It was not the way you would watch movies, and there's always a pause and an action moment, and you read every single punch. She was moving, you watch John Wick, and some of that stuff, that the type of movement, but she does that with her martial arts, with skills, and not that John Wick doesn't have skills, he does. But it was, when it spoke to us when we saw it, and it was very unique. It felt very fresh. So we reached out to her. And we said, would you help us? And she was absolutely very excited. And so we did a full day of filming and recording, and we got a lot of, especially for the look of picture that we're gonna release this year, but for the feature film as well, it's going to be a lot of using that type of martial arts where it's unapologetic. I keep using that word. We're not going to be doing something that is flashy and just for the sake of being flashy. We want it to be honest. We want people to watch Master and recognize what they do in the dojo and recognize moves, and it's not just exaggerated as a cartoon, but it's actually based on reality, on real martial arts. We want people to be able to pinpoint what it is.
Yeah, because if you watch some of Jackie Chan doing his choreography where they'll do it over and over and over again, you're seeing every hit, every block, every counter. I mean, there are some cuts, but there's a really studied approach, and that's why Jackie has gotten hurt and broken bones so many times, not just because of his stunts. I mean, those guys are really throwing punches, and it's something unique that's going to be to this project within animation.
And you might have answered this. I was kind of pulling up the questions, but to go more into the martial arts question, RTL Jonah asks, what martial art styles does Olivia know? I remember from the trailer that she seems to know Wing Chun, as well as I'm guessing Jeet Kune Do? Jeet Kune Do? I don't know that one. Or Taekwondo. They know it. I don't know.
I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, you're right. There was a mix of everything in there, right, between the even just the boxing between her jumping in the air and spinning, like who's doing that? She like jumped probably like 40 feet in the air and came down with her leg. So yeah, we used a mix of various martial arts. Now, how that transpires into the film, that's something we'll have to really deep dive into, because there are, I mean, even Kylie, one of the animators at Steamroller, he knows various martial arts. So what's believable for one female martial artist to know? How could she do that and train? So
there's a lot of homework being done right
Yeah.
now behind the scenes. We've all the different type of schools, because it's not just one style of martial arts. Without giving too much away, there's a lot of different style of martial arts that will be showcased in the film. Are we gonna? I mean, you guys probably have seen some of the images. There's an underground fight that takes place. Well, there are many underground, fight scenes like this in the film, where you're gonna see the different dojos with different skill sets. That's my love of Fist of the North Star. I know Jamaal always goes, "Oh my God, Fist of the North Star," but that's for my love of Fist of the North Star, where there are different styles of martial arts. Although it's very exaggerated style of martial arts, but we're gonna definitely have different schools and different styles, in our film.
Yeah. Kayla, she has some other questions that were from years ago. I don't know.
Yes, give me 1 second. Hold on, let me pull it up.
We can keep sharing the screen if you want and keep showing stuff.
I'm not even sure what you guys.
Okay. Did we answer the question yet? Why is it named Master?
That was one of the questions, Jalil, when I said I didn't pick out a name at the time. And so Master is definitely, I guess, a deep mental thing for people, everybody, right? You have to deal with mastering yourself through many aspects of life, mastering control over your emotions, mastering your path within your career trajectory, mastering become a parent. Like I apologize to my daughters all the time if I'm like, maybe I was too rough. Like, I got to go apologize. So you're trying to master everything around you, and that's kind of where, because you would think that it's, you're the kung fu master. No, it's mastering everything that is coming around you as you are, yes, traversing the world, traversing your own universe, because somebody else's universe, Jalil's universe collides with mine. My universe collides with my wife when we got married. So now you have to take in all these aspects of your life and try to come out clean on the other side. And you never will, because it's a lifelong journey. It's a process. So that's why it's named Master. And that's, you'll see within the story.
Yeah, totally.
All right. I'm looking at our master list right now. Is Master inspired by, Mishimas, The Last Dragon, Spider-Verse, Street Fighter, or Tekken arcade endings? Question mark? I guess it's more of a question of what's inspired. Have those things inspired Master in any way?
Yeah, I think so.
The Last Dragon.
Yeah, I think all of that.
Think
I don't know what's Mishimas. I don't know what that one is.
I don't know what that one is.
The anime?
The first one.
Yeah, I don't know what the first one is. But all the others, yeah, I think.
A lot of the 60s, 70s martial arts films.
Yeah, the Run Shaw.
Yeah, a huge inspiration, for us.
36 Chambers, Return to 36 Chambers.
Oh my God. Yeah,
7 Deadly Venoms.
Was it 5 or 7 Deadly Venoms? There was 5.
5 Deadly Venoms? 7?
can't
5
remember.
Deadly Venoms? Yeah, 5.
I can't remember. Right. But yeah, a lot of inspiration from these films. Definitely Street Fighter is a big one. That's, some of the first images that we were drawing, we could feel, okay, there's a feeling of like Street Fighter in there. For me, I have my secret love for Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star.
We can have a lot of head exploding and
Sword of the Stranger.
Sword of a Stranger. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's
that's a big one for us. Sword of a Stranger. Yeah.
What's some other ones?
It's my favorite animated film too.
Yeah, we're that generation. It's like we like anime, and the cinematography in anime is awesome. I think we'll probably take some cues, not too many, and I think we did the foreshortened.
Yes, we're doing.
Might be too much of that in the film. I don't know. I think it's a lot of people doing it. Sorry if you're doing it. Let me get the.
It's not big. Yeah,
We did it in Master, like, oh, let me get the 20mm camera.
Yeah, that type of exaggeration. I think we're definitely staying away from. We want the martial arts to have to be more grounded than pushed. And when I say grounded, I mean it is exaggerated, but we want to make sure that you can feel every punch, not just because we're cheating with the timing and stuff, but we want people to recognize it because you've been there, in a dojo, you've been throwing punches like this, you've done that style of martial arts, and you can recognize it when you watch Master. Yeah.
I like it. Okay. I got another question from Ikana. Ikana asks, have you considered making comics set in the world?
Chris asked.
Adam might be the one to answer this. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, we love telling stories, and comics are a great way to do that. And they're also much more economical, I think we'll say. So I don't know if we have anything we're ready to announce yet. What yet, Jamal? What? You gave me a look.
Yeah, that's. There's going to be something for you to stay engaged with Master as it's being created. We just talked about. We're not going to talk about that idea.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, we can. We can. I mean, again,
It becomes organic if we.
Yeah, I mean, the intent right now, as you guys can tell, how awkward we are as we're talking about some of these things, because it's just so, like I said, we're very cautious as entrepreneurs. So it all comes down to how, the money, right? And I think we've got quite a few things planned for this year. And to what Jamal is saying, one of them does tap into the comic book format, where we want to keep you guys engaged in the world of Master as we are building it. So, yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, Reb, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you're talking about the animated one, yeah, I was really impressed with that one because they did what we're talking about in a way. Like, there was some exaggeration with the camera, but you could really feel, even though sometimes they were skipping frames, you could really feel the fight moves. And even when they're throwing the fireballs in the water, it just felt real visceral. It just felt fresh. So, yeah.
And did you see his other question, Reb? He says, I wonder, since different styles would have different movements, would that mean that the animators would have to change the flow of animation itself during fights?
Oh, yeah.
Reb, are you an animator, Reb?
Well, yeah, I mean, if the style is changing some characters will have different styles, of martial arts, and yes, the animator will have to find the proper, the right reference, and if they can't shoot it themselves, we're gonna find, professionals that can move the way we want, these characters to move. And there's a lot of research that goes into the animation process, and none of it is going to be made up and guessed. Everything is going to be, we'll be using proper martial arts, experts to help us, through the process. So yes, if we have 3-4 different styles, we're gonna find, 3-4 different martial artists that can help us, with shooting reference. I don't know if I answered the question there. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What's those old questions?
This is a new one that came in from Christian Johnson. Wants to know, how do you guys imagine...
I wonder who Christian Johnson is. Huh?
That is. How do you guys imagine the music and sound of Master?
Well, Christian Johnson, you're not going to hide. He's our CG supervisor on Spice Frontier right now, and going on to Master. So sound and music. Want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm classic. I love the boom bap, where the environment takes place. Where this takes place, it is the home of the boom bap. It's Northeast. So I think some classic hip hop music it's up in the air. Whoever is going to be signing on to compose it, that would be the reach that I would want to go towards. So
yeah, it is definitely, again, I think music is such a major part of a film. There's you watch movies, it's 50%, in my book, in terms of the importance of the emotions that is carried, through a film. It's in the music. And but I think at the moment we're not quite there in figuring that out, where the music will be. I think we've got our ideas, but when we bring the composer, on board, that's when really the voice will, we want to allow that person obviously to have a voice and bring it into the film. But we're gonna get there, and we're very excited.
Yep.
All right. This is a good question. It's a businessy question. Aya asks, did you work with remote artists or animators, or was everything in-house? And if yes, how did you navigate working in that environment?
I think everybody was remote.
That's a massive question.
Asiala,
yeah.
a lot of.
It's always a mix, and the way Steamroller works is we do have a split. There is a group that are at the studio in Florida, and also we have another group that is in Mauritius. That's a country of the coast of Madagascar. We have another small division there, and now we also have a division in Vancouver. But then the rest of the studio is remote. We've got people from 40 different countries, maybe even more now. And how to manage that? Well, I think where do we start? It's a massive structure that took us years to build, and Aaron Gilman, our CEO, is still figuring it out as we go. And the more you grow, the more you have to adapt and you have to change. But with great communication and also with our great leaders at the company, I can't stretch how important it is to have amazing leaders, and we do, and they all work together, and that's the way to do it. I'm making it sound very simple. It's not simple. It's a complex infrastructure, but if you do it with integrity, with honesty, and no ego, put the ego out the door, it's gonna work out. That's the only way you can do this. Wow.
Yeah, and there is a main brain art. There is a clear inspiration for cinematography. It is the Hong Kong martial arts films for the fighting in particular. If you go back and watch, even today, I think you can even look at what's the one? Fist of Legend. I think that might be Hong Kong as well. Jet Li, Ip Man, and all the old one. Like you can see that the camera's really focused on the fighting. And I'm a big fan of Roger Deakins. I love his cinematography.
How would Deakins do it?
Yeah, it's going to be tough because it's his is more of a storytelling moment. So I think that'll be a big inspiration. Coen Brothers, big inspiration for me. I'm sure Jalil has his, but yeah, for martial arts, it's going to be the Hong Kong way of shooting martial arts.
Yeah, we've been studying how they did camera work, and there's a simplicity to it, to the camera work, to really allow the movement to drive it. It's not just the camera driving the action, but it's the action driving, where the camera, that's how usually it should be.
Right,
but
200 cuts to show
to show a guy jumping over a fence.
Stop.
No, we don't. Yeah.
We're getting so many good questions, so keep them coming. Thank you so much. This is a question that came from our comments, though. We do want to get to it because it is kind of, again, an awkward question perhaps, but one that's important because a lot of people asked. Is master cultural appropriation?
We're not ducking questions. Throw the hard ones. So if somebody's in there also, in the comments, I would love to see you post why you would think this is cultural appropriation. Is it cultural appropriation from Asian culture? From Asian culture?
Yeah, or is it? Yeah. Which point of view are we looking at?
And I think this might be also something that has changed within some generations or a generation where that question would come up, because martial arts, you think about 60s and 70s, was really, it's probably been in the States way longer than that, but it really took off in certain areas, and everybody's doing it. I mean, my daughter's doing jiu-jitsu, and I'm sure people out there that are on here now, their kids are doing martial arts. So are they doing cultural appropriation by doing martial arts, going to their local taekwondo? And like, So that it's tough to even.
We're telling a story that takes place in an American city, that's for sure, but where martial arts is a big part of, you know, and it is culturally accurate to the story we're telling. And it's, you know, it's our love for martial arts. Is it culturally appropriate?
Culturally appropriate? Yeah, it's probably culturally appropriate because
Sorry.
it's. Well, no, and I'm thinking. I think you're right. I mean, saying
Right?
the
Is
way
it?
you said it, is it culturally appropriate?
I think it is.
I mean, it's two different words, like appropriation
Appropriation.
and
That's
appropriate.
True. Yeah.
Like it's. Yeah, I think it is appropriate that people like martial arts. You watch martial arts films, you go sit down. I mean, is
That said, though, we are bringing. I mean, there are characters in the story that
Yeah.
are from different countries. You know, from where the martial art is from, and that will be showing up in the country. So yes, they will be more accurate to more, you know, from where they are.
so was Blade, was Wesley Snipes culturally appropriating when he was doing martial arts in Blade? I'm like, what? Like he knows
Yeah.
martial arts, so
He was a vampire. No, he was not a vampire. He was a daywalker.
he was a daywalker, but he could do
Dunpeel.
martial arts. So he was
Dunpeel.
man. So he was culturally appropriating vampires and Asian martial
And Asian
martial
martial
arts. Like
arts,
he was all man.
But vampires. That's like Dracula. That's like Romania. Was he? Did he have a Romanian accent? Not sure.
Again, you
Anyways,
can reach on anything with the question. That's why I'm asking. Like, hey, if you have something that's valid, if you can point to that with a question in here in the comments, I would love to hear it. It's like, wow, how do we? That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's. I think it's easy. Not it's tough to like. How do you?
Again, we're being honest, and we're being honest with the story. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hard to answer some of these questions.
Well, while everyone gives their definitions, we'll answer another question in the
Yeah.
meantime. Less controversial. Well, maybe. Actually, I don't know. Octavio asks, do you already have the casting in mind for the characters?
I mean, I'm not going to say names, but there's some people I would love to voice characters, but I don't think it's appropriate to bring them in until there's something substantial for them like to see and get excited about. And like,
Yeah.
hey, and humbly ask, would you want to be? And obviously we have to read the story.
We
Here.
definitely have ideas for
Yeah.
for some of the characters, but nothing is concrete right now. It's very early, for us to do this. Yeah.
You know, and I've talked to some people, but no, it's a matter of times. Jalil's hungry.
That's my. Did that go on camera? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Oh my God! Haven't had lunch, guys. I'm sorry. It's very culturally appropriate.
Oh, boy.
Did you
Okay.
do that on camera?
Yeah, no, it
Oh,
definitely, I
no.
heard it for sure. I think everyone at home heard it as well.
It's all good.
Let's see. Okay, a lot of people are asking, and this is a few different things. Are you planning to come out with an art book, or is there going to be merch? They're also asking about Spice Frontier merch. What's the situation on merch right now in general terms? I guess I could answer this, but I'll let you guys take it.
No, you take it.
The answer is like yes, hopefully, but like ready and available anytime soon, or like today. I wish, but no, not yet. But we do think. I mean, we want fan participation. We're all very passionate about this project, so I don't foresee us not making merch. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think we're definitely gonna do merch. As you can tell, there's quite a few ideas and prototypes that we're working on for Spice Frontier. But for Master, we're definitely gonna do merch. I mean, especially shirts and hats and hoodies, and we're talking about that a couple days ago. We're definitely gonna do merch. So look out for it.
An art book? Did you want to
Oh yeah.
talk about that?
I mean, yeah, I don't think we have anything definitive planned for an art book yet, but I'd be shocked if we didn't do it. I mean, we're also talking about that for Spice Frontier, the first episode coming out, and the amount of work we have on that is substantial. It could definitely be its own art book, and so I would love to be able to showcase all the talented artists we have on the team and get that out there. So yeah, we'll find a way to happen. I just can't commit to any dates yet, but yeah, we're always working on that kind of stuff.
Who said I was directing Animators Headspace? Oh.
Trying to do a scoop.
I'm just looking at the question. He said directing. It's an exciting project. What does a pitch for something like this? Again, this is a very, and sorry, I mean, if I reveal that, I didn't sign up to direct.
Trust me, I've been trying to get him to direct it, and he keeps saying no,
I'm sure there'll be some consultant in there. No, I'm just, it's all good. It's all good, Headspace. Just because it's your baby, you're gonna have comments on it, right? There's no way around it. But right now, I'm just trying to get story good when I need to have it and hand it to the people to make it come to life. So yeah, it's this, and this your question is gonna go to segue into my other question to people out there. It was so unconventional to how things got started. So it wasn't a regular pitch, right? I didn't have to go in front of some Hollywood executives. Just, I don't know. We're gonna change. It was none of that. It was like, oh, this person's hungry. They work after work after that work. It's like, oh, I wanted some. It's like almost like a Shark Tank thing. Almost, it was like, well, this person. I see that person, and sometimes they don't even get the deal. They want to hire that person just because they're hungry, and it's like, wow, I need that person on my team. I don't like your product, but I want to hire you, or I want to take your thing and make it better just because you're that hungry. So that's kind of how it became organic. And I'm just curious if you guys are supporting. When you said merchandise, I'm wondering if people do thumbs up in here if you would. If Steamroller made merch, and you knew that was going to help support them making this thing, would you do it? Would you buy it if there was master merch? Would you do it at this point? Because I'm just curious, not to put you guys on blast.
No, that's a great question.
Just because it's
a great question.
The way things are being done now, and you guys can see the industry, where it's changing. A lot of you guys out there are going to probably have to make your own content, get your show, put it on YouTube. Has Been Hotel, you have to probably follow that model maybe. And there may be a way for you to, like, know what? You're going to do a live stream. You're going to go talk. And they're like, man, I want to get this person money because they're doing it. They're grinding. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think, I mean, honestly, to what Jamaal is saying, it was like-minded people, friends, relationships are so important. Jamaal just was sending me stuff he was working on in the evening. And I remember being on the couch and he sends me something and I'm like, what? I was like, what is this? We got to talk about this. And then he showed it to me and really that's how it started. And I think it's really exciting that, if you have an idea and you have a story, start making it, start doing it. Don't wait for anybody. Like Jamaal said, there was no pitch, he didn't have to go in front of any panel and
I guess it was kind of a pitch because you had to read the treatment, right? I sent you it's like a longer than normal treatment. Yeah, I sent you like 33-page treatment.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't think you would have signed on. It's like, this is whack.
I think you told me about it, but yeah, I might have because I don't read much. I write more than I read.
We got a lot of thumbs up and a lot of yes, take my money, I'm going to go broke if you guys do that. So that's an encouraging sign for us as a studio. Thank you for participating. All right, well, we got about 15 minutes left of the stream, so get all of your questions in. Out of the questions that we got from the comments, is there anything that you guys really want to answer? We talked about the electric powers. We talked about the inspirations. We talked about woke and cultural appropriation. One of them was, could Olivia and Miles Morales cross paths or date?
I feel bad for Miles Morales because Olivia will destroy him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
that's what fan fiction's for.
That's what fan
I don't
fiction.
think we can get the rights to Spider-Man. If Marvel has a hard time with it,
that would probably have to. I mean, it'd probably be easier, I'm guessing, to do a comic like if you did a comic crossover versus like, oh, you got an animated crossover. So it'd be like, I guess you could sign off. Like Miles is walking around Liv's neighborhood, like, But yeah, I don't. As far as like trying to collab on some CG thing, I don't think that would even. That's a whole lot. You have to be put into Marvel's universe. What else are the other ones? Why are Liv's arms so skinny? Olivia's. That was a question.
Oh.
They're not skinny anymore.
Yeah,
They're not
more. We
skinny
went the other way
anymore.
with that one.
Yeah, we kind of went the other way. Yeah, I remember her design was a bit more traditional design, and I think her arms were definitely skinnier back in the day. But obviously now, she's more true to what she would be as a martial artist. And of course, we have our language as well at the studio at Steamroller. You're gonna see most of our characters a bit chunkier and a bit more streamlined in their contour lines. And so that's very much a Steamroller, language, and it kind of is reflected in most of our IPs, even in our creatures as well. You'll see shapes like this. So that's more the Olivia now. Yeah, she's not skinny anymore.
What was that question that popped up? What's the most important? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. This is from Dirani. What's the most important thing to consider when adapting a real martial art style into an animated sequence to ensure it is both visually exciting and realistic?
Oh, I missed the question. What was it again?
That was a long one.
What's the most important thing to consider when adapting a real martial arts style into an animated sequence to ensure it is both visually exciting and realistic? I think you have to, it's like everything else in animation. The Disney, the not on men would tell you, like, go study it.
Yeah.
Study the martial arts, understand it, understand the movement, the weight, distribution, how the hits, how long it takes to do a hit. And with animation, now you can exaggerate the moves, right? You can exaggerate how fast the recoil is or how long the punch stays into the chest, right? You get that where it's like the fist stays out. And then the body ripples. They've done that in animation, right? Where I think, and everybody correct me if I'm wrong, I think that you get more impact on a hit when you hit and then release the energy into the body, right? So you get that recoil is the thing that pushes your force into the. So that's the stuff you have to study, and then take those liberations.
Liberties.
Take those liberties as an animator, right?
Yeah, and I think that question answers how do you make good animation, right? And I think it's a hard question to answer because it also depends on the animator, on the project, and the type of studies they do, and to know exactly what to push when, because there are you watch an action sequence, a real live martial artist doing a movement. If you just copy it, it's what we call motion capture, right? You're really just rotoscoping, right? And you're making it just move realistically. So now the question is also, how do you adapt this in animation? Well, the animator will need to know what are the thing that's the most important for the audience to see, right? Is it the recoil? Is it the punch? Is it the anticipation to the punch? So, and again, each of them will have different timings to read better, right? So do you hold in anticipation longer than what the actual martial artist did, right? So all these are how the animator is problem solving each shot, and each shot will be different. Some shots they might decide to hold the anticipation longer because that's the impact they're looking for. So it will come.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we did with the Wing Chun dummy in the teaser, right? It was like some parts when you watch, and we were studying a bunch of, when you watch that hit come off, it's like, well, we need to hold that a little bit longer so it reads. If you watch from the top down shot when she's, I think that's Asiala's shot, where she's just working that dummy and just making sure, like, oh, you need to hold that for one more frame or just come off a little bit before you do the full off so you can feel that pop. Because the big thing with the Wing Chun dummy is like, oh, you need to feel the stops, but we couldn't do it so it's like, oh, it's stopping. Because there's like those stops, quick, to stop, quick, then the foot within there. Anyway.
Love it.
We can go all into animation.
And Jamaal, there's a question for you here. Can you expand a little bit more on liberations?
It's liberation.
This group is ruthless.
This group is ruthless, man.
I can give you some more liberations.
Yes. We can spend hours talking about it. All right. Any more questions?
Yeah, sorry.
One more. You're good. MJHTV asks, where are you planning on releasing the film? On streaming or in theaters? That's again a very early question. We don't know yet where, but
just so you guys know, we are trying to build our own audience. The goal right now for us is we're going to have our own Steamroller channel where we'll be releasing a lot of content here in the next 5-6 months. And we want to build our own audience. So there is a chance if we do a feature film like this, who knows, that it will go on our own channel. But obviously that's an ideal world, where you release your own movie on your own channel. You need to have big enough of an audience for it to be successful. But that's kind of the world that we're living in. There's a democracy when it comes to making film, and so we want to do it. But that doesn't mean we're not going to go, in a movie theater or on a streaming platform. That doesn't mean that at all.
You guys buy enough merch and enough T-shirts, then.
We exactly. But for us, we're going to talk. Sorry, Jamaal. For us, we're going to talk to everybody. We're going to talk to distributors out there. We're going to talk to anybody who is interested in joining us as well. In making this film, because a movie like this, is not cheap, and we want to do it independently. That doesn't mean that we are not interested in talking to potential partners who believe in our vision, who believe in this story and this world, and want to come and tell it with us.
Yeah, I just want to add to that too. I think one of the reasons we love Jamaal is that we're the same tribe, and I think we'd have to have the same mentality with anybody that comes in with money, because everybody knows, as soon as money's involved, then their voice has to be involved. And so I think we're very protective of the character and the story we want to tell. And so I think we're certainly open to it, but we want to make sure it's the right fit for the project.
And everybody who's on here and the people that are on YouTube and any of the streaming, Twitch, Glitch, Ikana. Glitch is a great platform. I think the model is changing, right? I mean, and you have to change with it. I don't know if you would see a major studio doing what we're just doing right now. And it's not even out of desperation. It's the fact that, it was gone for a while. People were like, what is happening with Masters? Like, hey, maybe we should go talk, because things are happening in the background. But a major studio is not going to show you the backdrop of all the art they're doing. They're just like, we got to, and they're going to put out big marketing blitz. And it's like, what? Things have got to be more organic now. And you got to be on social media. You need to talk, show, keep people engaged in what you're doing. And that's just how it is. Just like any podcast, any YouTube streamer, they're posting stuff all the time. Who's the guy? Like, my daughters love Corey Kenshin. He's comedic. He's fun. He's got his own comic coming out now. He's engaging his customer, his followers. He's engaging. People feel invested in him. He disappeared for a while because he was working on his thing. He came back and told you, like, hey, this is what I've been working on, guys. And he's like, wow, he went away and made a whole book, story. And so that's kind of where we're at, Steamroller is at, with engaging the people. And now the idea of we have a cool idea of how to keep you engaged and not feel like, they just left us. It was a ploy to get us to. And granted, the teaser was a litmus test. And I don't think we ever said that. The teaser was like, hey, I got this idea. Will people even want to watch it? Know what?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
But I do. But it gives you. I think it was a good barometer to see. Do you want to put money into this? Do you want to do we want to get behind Jamaal? Because guess what? If people are like, this looks like and the internet is ruthless.
No, I'm investing in Jamaal. Any time of the day. But really, it was a litmus test for the teaser. I don't know, Jamaal. Did we actually think about? For us, it was just creating content and putting something really cool out there. We were working on the story. We said we don't know what the future holds. You don't need permission to be creative, and that's to us was so important. We're like, do we need permission from Hollywood to tell us what movie to make? We said no. We just decided to do it. So now, did we have a big plan? Not really at that point. At that time, we didn't have a big plan, but we wanted to just create. And here's a cool character, a cool world, a great story behind Jamaal. And we're like, let's just start telling the story and see who believes in it. And when we released that, oh my God, the world believed, and the world went, that is cool. And that gave us the courage and the confidence to continue. But were we going to stop? I don't know if we would have. I think we were going to continue because we believed in it. It was just about how do we make the world believe, and they believed in our first on the first teaser. That's how we knew we had something very special.
Yeah.
All right. Final question, because I want to make sure I get this one in here because they asked a while ago. And this is Distract, and he also does music and offered to do the music and master. So I don't know if you got a card or something, put your socials in here. We can check you out. But they asked, how was the animatic done, in 2D or in placehold models in a 3D previs?
Oh, the animatic.
Well, it's a mixture of a few things. I think we do start with a fully 2D, animatic, and then very quickly we move into actually 3D environment. It's so important to kind of know, the environment your characters are fighting in. So there's a bit of a mixture. We do go into 3D quite quickly. And right now we are exploring as early as storyboarding, being in Unreal. And one thing that most people don't know is that Spice Frontier, our pipeline uses Unreal heavily, the Unreal Engine heavily. And, Spice Frontier was, built in Unreal, and 80% of Spice Frontier is final pixel in Unreal. And that's super exciting that we were able to do this, and we want to continue with that pipeline, for master. And now we're trying, when it comes to storyboards, to be in Unreal much earlier, because it helps. It's way more efficient when you start working with your camera in Unreal as early as storyboards, because your director doesn't have to redirect every time. You direct storyboards and you have to go to layout, you redirect, and then you into animation, you're redirecting every time. But if you can do it as early as storyboards, it's fantastic for the team.
Yeah, I think when you guys see what Steamroller's done with Spice Frontier, it's a game changer. It's like, wow, you can create this in Unreal, and yeah, it'll give a lot of people hope in the future if they are in this place of like, because I know some people are questioning, do they want to be in animation anymore, just the way the industry is going. But this is probably something that can keep you inspired.
Yeah, totally. Are we going to be, would you guys let interns or volunteers work alongside you on Master? That would be a dream come true. It's a difficult thing. And of course, in an ideal world, and I think, we were the same, right? We all used to be interns at one point, looking at bigger projects and wanting to be a part of it. And we really appreciate this, and we understand this from everybody. But the difficult part comes down to, the pipeline itself, and how do you manage, if you've got even five interns will be very difficult to integrate into a system. And that's the difficult part of it. And, if we were bigger, I think it would have been easier for us to bring in a group of, interns and really build a system around how it would work. But I think at the size that we are at the moment, we're not seeing it very easy to bring in interns to work on a project like this. But again, guys, we are instructors, all of us. We love to teach. We love to share what we do. And I think the future is bright when it comes to bringing in fresh talent and young talent, and to help us grow and make the films that we do. So for the future, absolutely. At the moment, probably not.
No mocap, Nicholas.
Yeah, no motion capture. No.
Yes, on that.
All right. Any last thoughts from the panel here? Jalil, Adam, do you want to say anything before we sign off?
Well, just want to thank you all for tuning in, and I think this was great. This was, as you could tell, it probably isn't as polished as you would see from the bigger studios, but believe it or not, that's intentional. I think a lot of the things that we talked about was being genuine and authentic, and hopefully you guys enjoy this little peek behind the curtain. You probably got a couple scoops that we weren't intending on talking about, but that's okay. But yeah, just I appreciate everybody showing up, and what if you guys add something?
Yeah, I mean, be patient with us. It's a difficult place to be right now in the industry, and we are surviving. We are alive. We are doing well. But you just never know. The industry is a tricky place, and but please be patient with us. We are doing this story. We're doing this film. There's no turning back. This is something we want to make. It's just gonna take us longer than most companies. But who knows though? Something hits and something is Spice Frontier is successful, and we have enough to pick up pace, on Master. But yeah, we just want you guys to be a part of it, and so we'll be sharing more. I promise, Kayla, we'll share more.
Yeah, thank you guys for being supporters, and supporters is just a thumbs up. That's all good. So we appreciate the love that Master got 3 years ago, and hopefully this is the beginning of you guys getting to be more engaged for things that are coming later. So thanks.
Awesome. And yeah, subscribe to this channel, and on Instagram we're Steamroller Animation. That's where we talk a lot about our projects and what we're working on. And then set your calendars. Well, I guess you can't technically, but set your month to May. We haven't picked an official launch date yet, but Spice Frontier Episode 1, Escape from Veltagar, is coming out in May on our YouTube channel. So you get to see what they've been talking about, what Jalil just mentioned about Unreal, and it's going to be a game changer, and we agree. And we think you're going to love it. So, yeah, and thank you for supporting us and watching us, and just commenting and interacting on our social media is so important, because that's how we're going to build buzz and get people interested in the film and everything that we're doing. So just watching our content and interacting, it means the world to us. So thank you so much for joining. We are so excited. And now I think everyone had fun. So I think we're going to do this again at some point, and we'll be back, because I think they're going to be addicted now.
Yeah, we're going to go get lunch.
Okay.
We're really hungry.
Okay, well, thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.